To the line, sorry. Are the judges ready? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're proud to present the 2004-2005 Kennel Hills Marching Knights. The Knights are under the direction of Mr. Frank Hilliard, Debbie DeCam, and Chris Bookey. They're led on the field by drum majors Corey Brown, Lori Rubel, and Becca Zimkowski. Guard captain is Danielle Goebel. Mr. Hilliard is assisted by guard instructor Scott Riemenschneider. Percussion instructors include Will Gordillo, Justin Smith, and Marianne Evans. Additional camp and instructional help may come from Tony, this is a tough one, Shalassi, Jamie DeVoe, Michelle DeVoe, Adria Van White, Katie Nixon, Chris Sukowski, and Dan Duffield. For your listening and viewing pleasure, the Knights will perform this year's show titled Hardcore, a collection of Spanish and Latin tunes. The pieces include Topaz featuring a trumpet solo by senior Mark Kenyon with guard solo by Danielle Goebel. Tiger of San Pedro featuring trumpet solos by sophomore Katie Hilliard and senior Bill Henning and a guard solo by Kara Mulder. The Knights will close their show with the classic Malaguena featuring a trombone solo by senior Bill Melville. Guard solos by seniors Katie Felty and Sarah DeVoe and a trumpet duet by Mark Kenyon and Katie Hilliard. The Knights would like to dedicate this season to two former marching Knights, 2003 graduates Phil Owens and Dave Weir. Both Phil and Dave are currently serving in Iraq with the United States Marine Corps. Drum majors Becca, Corey, and Lori. Are the Knights ready? All right, the field is yours in competition. Knights are in the middle of another very busy year. They performed at Wyoming Park, Rockford, and Hastings, as well as all home football games. The Knights also hosted the 19th annual Nighttime Classic. They'll continue their season with performances at Gull Lake and the MSBOA District 10 Marching Band Festival